thank you all for making the time. Just before we do that though, there are a few people that I personally really want to thank for everything that they've done to make this magnificent piece of British engineering here possible. And the first person I'd like to thank is Ian, because the story of this engine begins in Philip Rollins' garden. Unfortunately, Philip, now deceased, and his daughter was looking for a home for the engine. Ian stepped forward and found a home for it, and put together the 76084 Limited, which became the company that you see before you. And I have to say, I don't know a kind of more modest and unassuming and kind of undemonstrative man than Ian. And I can tell you, this project, there's been a lot of hot air going around on this project at various stages. And Ian's reaction has inevitably been to kind of put his head down, get on with the job and get it done. And I know that he's put thousands of hours of his personal time in it. And I know from what I've seen, he's a world-class steam engineer. So, ladies and gentlemen, Ian, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everybody. It's been my lifelong ambition to restore a Barry engine. I nearly got there with 46512 from the South Norfolk Railway, but they said it was costing too much, and they took it away, so I didn't get the chance to finish it. But certainly, it's really marvellous to see the engine finished, and at times, been some pretty hard work. And when I went to school at Barnard Castle, I was there for 6 years, and these engines worked over Stainmore, sometimes double heading with a banker on the back, and they're very, very fond engines for me, these engines. So to see it here today like this, really great. Thank you very much indeed.
The second person that we must thank as well is the man that I know has spent, I think, 3 hours a night, every night, for about the last 7 years, quite literally, going through every single nut, bolt, step, hinge, pipe, fitting, corner, edge, door, flange, flap. You name it. This man knows every single one of the 10,000 pieces on this locomotive. He's looked at a million drawings, and Dave, I don't know how you've put this amount of time and effort into it, but you really are the man who, from the engineering side, who's got us to here. So thank you so much. Well done. And I think the next person, or the next people I'd like to thank, really, one of whom is here today, one unfortunately isn't, but we know that behind every successful man is a strong and challenging and supportive woman. And I know that there are two ladies who have kind of wondered why these guys are spending every hour of the day getting dirty and tired and messy and spending all their time in a dirty workshop when they could be out kind of walking or going down the shops or having dinner. So I'd just like to say to those two ladies who have supported these guys to get us to where we are, thank you so much. So Janice, I'm afraid, isn't here with us, but Sheila is. Thank you, Sheila. The next set of people I want to thank is, having spent time up at Norfolk, it's kind of cold, it's dirty, it's windy, you get covered in filth, you come home exhausted, your knuckles are bruised, your fingernails are covered in dirt, you're tired, everything takes a lot longer than it should do, so you come home after a day and you think, well, I wanted to do this, this and this, and I only got this done. That's kind of the way it works, isn't it, in steam locomotive restoration. So to everybody who spent time, all the volunteers who spent time at Hetska getting this magnificent piece of work done, I just want to say thanks very much for all those hours that you put in. And
you've got the list full, please.
Davey was kind enough to provide me a list, so to Matthew and Callum Story, Mal Russer, Gary Hayhoe, David Rollo, David Freeman, Phil Champion, Stuart Matthews, Stuart Strachan, Steve Alder, Kevin Tate, Ben Shelley, Roger Norris, Adam Dalgleish and his team, Mike Elliott, Eddie Irons, Kevin Husbeth, Daniel Sargent, Tony Sargent, Eric Bond, Adam Stas, John Riley, Mike Corcoran, Dave Martin and Richard Campbell. Thank you. To Wayborn as well. Finally, just one more word of thanks. Okay, so as you probably know, the hardest thing with a job like this is it's just expensive, right? I mean, this does not come cheap. And there are a number of times on this project where our kind of treasurer looked in the bank statement and he said, "You've got no more money. What are we going to do? You've got no more money. Can't do any more work today. You've got to stop." And every time that happened, somehow somebody around here stuck their hand in their pocket and came up with a few extra, a little bit of extra money. And I don't care whether it was sometimes it was £1, sometimes it was £10, sometimes it was £1,000. Every single penny, with the exception of the pennies that we put on postage stamps and magazines to tell you how we're getting on, and the hire of a room for an AGM. But every single penny that you gave us has gone into this thing here. We needed every penny. We couldn't have done it without every penny. So whatever you put in, we truly appreciate it. You're the people who've got us here. Thank you so much indeed. To the shareholders.